Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Staying in the Conversation. Today's topic is people pleasing and is it worth it? So, before I dive into that amazing topic, I'd like to ask you guys, please, if you're interested in what I share and you've been watching my YouTube videos or YouTube channel, rather, for some time, please could I ask you to subscribe, like this video if you like it, like the other videos if you like them, and comment below because it really does help promote my YouTube channel and allow other people to find it too. Also, if you have any questions and there's any topics you wish me to talk about and I haven't touched on them, or you'd like me to expand on them and do a deeper dive into a specific topic or do another video, because what I found in these 6 years of being a mentor and a spiritual teacher and sharing in this way is that the same topic, doing a video on the same topic will there'll be new wisdom, there'll be new insights. It won't be the same video. So it may be the same title, it may be a similar thing. I may have done one about anger or something like that before. But if you've got a question and I've already done a video on that, by all means ask the question again, because there will be new wisdom, because I am a new me from when I first made whatever video on whatever topic. So if there's any question, there are no such thing as silly questions or pointless questions. All questions are valid. And it gets me thinking and it gets the sort of wisdom juices flowing, and something magical comes out of that. And then also, if you wish your questions to be private instead of on YouTube for everyone to see, and you don't want, the world to see your questions, then you're more than welcome to email me, and then I'm the only one who sees that question, and your name doesn't need to be mentioned or anything. I can just say I've been asked this question via email, so that could all be anonymous if you're concerned about that. Also, these conversations, these videos come from a London WhatsApp group. So if you are in the London area or are interested, even if you're not in the London area, but you're interested in being part of an online community, online Three Principles community where we can talk about this stuff and open up to a deeper spiritual part of ourselves, then let me know and I will send you the link to the WhatsApp group so you can join in. And on there is all informations to all these videos, because all these videos are recorded live for people in my London WhatsApp group to attend. So if you wish to join live, and then you've got questions there, and then it becomes more of a conversation rather than just a video. It's like a conversation that I'm having with you guys, but without that back and forth, if that makes sense. So if you wish to participate in the live versions of these calls, then please email me London WhatsApp group with the subheading London WhatsApp group, and then I'll know that you're interested in that, and I will send you the link personally. I think that is everything for now. That's all the announcements. So without further ado, today's topic: people pleasing, and is it really worth it? So I am the master of people pleasing. I lived my life as a child and a teenager believing that I needed to be what the world wanted me to be. If the world wanted me to be quiet, then I'd be quiet. If they wanted me to be loud, then I'd be loud. If they wanted me to eat, then I'd eat. If they wanted me to not eat, then I wouldn't eat. I learnt to listen to the world, to the adults around me, to other kids in my school, just everyone. I really learned, I conditioned myself how to be not Becca. I learned how to be the person the world wanted me to be, or the person I thought the world wanted me to be. And I ended up living a very unhappy life, despite having a stable childhood, a great childhood, a support family. I lived a really, really unhappy life simply because of that misunderstanding, that I believed I couldn't be myself because being myself is wrong and it's not what the world wants. So I need to do what the world wants me to do. And it got to a point where I couldn't discern, I didn't know what I was feeling. People would ask me, what are you feeling or what do you want? And I really didn't know the answer to that question. What did you want me to feel, or what do you want me to eat? What do you want me to do? I don't know. I genuinely didn't know what was going on inside. And there was a lot of pain and suffering internally for me because of this misunderstanding. So the short answer to today's topic is people pleasing. Is it worth it? Absolutely not. Because what happens when we're people pleasing is we're being the person we think the world wants us to be. So ultimately, it's not true that the world wants us to be that, you know, and sometimes there are people in our lives, that there are family members or their employers or bosses or colleagues that do want us to behave a certain way, and they want us to be at their beck and call, or they want us to do certain things. But by consistently doing what they want you to do, despite the fact that it's not what you actually want to do or what you're mentally and physically capable of doing, because you just run yourself into the ground trying to please this person, this is a disservice. This action is a disservice to yourself and the person you're pleasing, because ultimately it's not pleasing them on a fundamental level. They may think it is, but in one sense of the interaction, but in the main sense, it's not serving them. It's not serving you. It's not serving them, and it's not serving the world. It's not for the greater good. So what I mean by that is that when these things are happening, it's like there's one end of the spectrum of pleasing people, and then there's the other end of controlling people, and one can't exist without the other. And I think all of us kind of teeter between those two things of wanting control and wanting to please. And because they're two sides of the same coin, or two ends of the same piece of string, they can't exist without the other. Um, you can't have one end of the string. I'll use a cloth as an example. So you can't have this end without having this end. So when you've got these two ends here, and you consistently flowing through each one, or one person's here on the controlling end, so you meet them on the opposite end, the pleasing end, and you stay in that disservice, you stay in that unhealthy relationship of pleasing and controlling. And the only way to break that pleasing and controlling disservice or relationship is to find your place in the middle, and to not go from a pleasing sense. So there's nothing wrong with helping people, and there's nothing wrong with being there for people. But at the same time, it's asking yourself the question, is this something I am willing to do? Is this something I am like? Is this from the kindness of my heart that I really want to do this and I can do this? Or is this something I'm doing because I think I have to? And the biggest thing is that discernment. It's that knowing what feeling do you have, that when somebody is asking you to do something, or you're just doing it, are you doing it because you think they want you to, or that you think they need you to? Is it coming from that, need, must, have to? Is it coming from that sort of like trudging through mud feeling? Was it coming through, oh yeah, I have time, yeah, I'll help you move house, yeah, I have loads of time, I've loads of energy, yeah, cool, I'll come and help you? Where is it like that? There's a flow there, there's a gentleness there. It's not coming from a pleasing sense. And And so it's really important to know yourself in that way. So for me, I didn't know who I was for a very long time. That I did fall into the trap of pleasing. And everything I did was, in my shoulders. And it's like, I have to do this because if I don't, then. And what I find is most of my if I don't is an empty threat. There's never anything after the if I don't. So, what I find really helpful with coming out of people pleasing is asking myself the question when like or taking a minute when somebody asks me, can I do something? I take a minute or I respond with, oh, can I get back to you later? Because I'm not too sure whether I want to do that thing or not. In that moment, I don't know. So until I do know, then I answer. So it's giving yourself that space before saying yes. And this isn't like a strategy or, oh, this is what you do the next time. It's this is what I do. And this is what has been helpful for me. And we can only share our experiences of what's helpful. But fundamentally, what is happening when people pleasing is going on is that it's coming from the idea that we think we have to behave in a certain way. We think we have to behave the way another person or a group of people want us to behave. And it isn't true. Even if they absolutely do want you to behave a certain way and they're not happy with you behaving in a different way, that's their business. And we can really tell when we've gone into somebody else's business or, the universal business of life, that magic behind life. We can really tell because it feels uncomfortable. It doesn't feel nice. And all of this comes back to there are two basic human feelings, human emotions, uncomfortable and comfortable. And when we're living in that state of discomfort, it looks like it's a sign from the outside world. It looks like, oh, there's something wrong in my human life. There's something wrong in these relationships. This person needs to be different. This job needs to be different. This house needs to be different. This discomfort is telling me that I need to change something out here. But trying to change something out here is like trying to rearrange the furniture on the Titanic. It is pointless. The discomfort is telling you that you've moved away from the true essence of who you are, your magical potential, that balance within you, that wisdom, that love, that God energy. You've moved away from it. And it's finding the next best feeling to slowly move yourself back to your true potential, your true self, your divinity. And then from there, once you've moved yourself back into that or allowed that discomfort to settle, be comfortable with the uncomfortable because it isn't about ridding yourself of it. We're human. We're supposed to feel both and everything in between. So it's being comfortable in the uncomfortable. It's being okay with not being okay. And then from that space of okayness, from that space of being okay with the discomfort, we naturally settle. It's like a snow globe. You shake it around and shake it around, and the fake snow is going everywhere. And the minute you put it down, it settles. So, whatever circumstances you're going through, what you're doing when you're trying to rearrange the furniture, you're shaking it up. You're shaking up your circumstances, you're overthinking and overworking yourself. And it's not getting better, it's only getting worse. And then when you just stop and let it go, it settles. And from that settled place, wisdom can then come through. Wisdom can then be heard because it can't be heard while all this noise is being shaken up. the minute you settle, the minute you stop and realize what you're doing, like it's like an aha moment, like, oh, that's what I've been doing. And it sounds like a lot of doing, like do this and do that and settle your mind. And I can kind of hear over the airwaves, how do I do all this? How? And it isn't really a how. There is a knowing, there is a gentleness in there. There isn't a, oh, do these 3 steps and then every time you're uncomfortable, you'll feel better. No, sometimes you'll feel really uncomfortable and it'll be really difficult to get out of the uncomfortable feeling. And you'll feel stuck there for a little bit or for a long time. That's part of being human. So it's when you're feeling comfortable, you nurture this this discernment, this wisdom, this curiosity inside you. When you're feeling good, you tap into that magical power, your true potential. You tap into that, and from that space of calmness, that's when you can build up those foundations. And then when you do go into discomfort, when that happens, because it happens as human beings, then you've got something to fall back on. And it's like it just pops up, like just a thought, like as quickly as you got uncomfortable and unhappy and whatever it is you felt, you'll come back again. Something will occur to you, a song will come on the radio, your child will say something to you, something funny will happen on TV, you'll overhear a conversation and it will just jolt you back to the truth. Because you're working on this and you're nurturing, you're watering your garden, your mental garden, you're doing that. So if you're doing that when you're feeling calm and peaceful and you're in your natural state, when you leave your natural state into discomfort, then God takes care of the rest. And if God isn't your word, then fill it in with another one. Magic, source, universe. That magical power takes care of the rest. We're just here to, live out and explore, deepen our understanding a little bit more, and nurture that true potential of ourselves. And the more we nurture that space, the quicker we come back. The quicker we come back, the less we go out of it, and the quicker we come back. It's just a natural byproduct. It isn't a strategy or a coping mechanism. It's not saying you'll never get angry or upset or pissed off. It's simply stating that because you're aware, because your awareness is on your true potential, your awareness is looking in that direction of magical potential, of divinity, your awareness is there, your foundations are there, your starting point is there. When you fall into people pleasing mode or people controlling mode, when you fall into those places, there is something in you that says you don't want to be that person. That's not in alignment with who you really are. That's not who you want to be. And something just, there's a sensation, there's a feeling, there's a knowing. There's a deep knowing within you, and it jolts you out of that state because it's not in alignment with who you really are. It's not in alignment with the magical power that lives through us, that gives us life. And so when we really know ourselves and we can know our feelings, we can sense it quicker and quicker. And the fact that I was asked this question by someone in my London WhatsApp group, this person knows that they're people pleasing. You know that you're doing it. There must have been a time where you didn't. You were just doing it and you just thought nothing. There was no thinking, there was no awareness, there was just doing. And that was just your life. But now you're aware that you're doing it. And the fact that you're aware of falling into the trap of people pleasing, you're aware of that, you're going to do it less. It's just a byproduct of this magical knowing, this spiritual understanding, this knowing the behind the scenes. You know behind the scenes now. It's like knowing how the film ends. It's like knowing, oh, it ends happy. Okay, so I don't really have to be sad. But I've watched Finding Nemo about 20,000 times and I still cry. I know it ends happy. I still cry. So you have an awareness of this people-pleasing mode that you get yourself stuck in, but you still cry. You still get upset. It's still difficult. You still ask yourself why you do it, how you get out of it. But there is a place in you, there is an awareness in you that knows that you're okay despite your doing this. That knows that you don't have to do this, not if you don't want to. That you can come back to your firm foundations. You can come back to that awareness. Oh, I'm doing it again. Oh, okay, never mind. I'll do it differently tomorrow or later or next week. Try again. And when we take all of this lightly, lightheartedly, with fun, like a game, we take it like a game, it flows a lot more easily. It just flows gently and it allows us to deepen our understanding and our awareness of who we are and what we're doing and who we want to be. Because if our foundations and our starting point is I am calm and peaceful, I'm kind and helpful, things like that, I'm good enough, I'm deserving of love and good things, and these are our foundations, these are our starting point, then people pleasing isn't matching that alignment. And so people pleasing feels uncomfortable. It doesn't feel nice because it's like a compass, like a sat nav guiding you back to what does feel nice. That alignment with God. Because even false highs don't feel nice. That false indication, like, oh yeah, eating 5 kilos of chocolate makes me feel nice. It's like we all know you're lying to yourself. We all know you're lying. You're lying to yourself. And in any sense of it, when you're telling yourself, oh yeah, it's okay, I'm okay with this, yeah, it's fine. You're only lying to yourself in that sense, and it feels uncomfortable. And so what I mean with that is when you're honest with yourself, you're honest with where you're at, and that you're not happy in this space of people pleasing. It's almost like looking at fear in the face. It's like the minute you look at it, it's like this I don't know, mythical monster that, like a 3-year-old that says there's monsters under their bed. So this people pleasing mode is like this mythical 3-year-old monster under the bed. And the minute you look under the bed, it's gone. So you've spent, weeks and months and days terrified to look under the bed, because if you look under the bed, there's going to be a terrifying, a human eating monster. And then you finally pick up the courage and the bravery to look under the bed, to find that there was nothing there in the first place. So when we're able to have that courage and that bravery and that honesty, and honesty with ourselves, you don't have to be honest with anyone else, because this is your journey, this is your decision to have a closer, deeper look at your human and spiritual level, your human and spiritual self. This is your journey. This is your decision. You don't have to be honest with anyone but yourself. And sometimes yourself is the hardest person to be honest to. For whatever reason, however we've created society, being honest with yourself takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of guts. And so when you're ready in a safe space, find that courage because you have it in you. And gently and playfully look at the areas of those monsters in your life that you're terrified to look at. And the minute that you look at them, the minute that you look at this people pleasing mode or whatever it is that you're going through, is smoke and mirrors. It disappears, it dissipates, it's gone. The minute you look at it, it's the fear of the unknown. It's the fear of what happens if I face this? What happens if I admit this? What happens if I can never change it? What happens if this is it for the rest of my life? You know, it's all those terrifying what ifs we tell ourselves. But what if the grass really is greener on the other side? What if there is a magical, mystical life that you can live full of miracles and love and beauty and purity? What if all your hopes and dreams can actually come true and do come true? What if you don't have to people please and you can be of service? You can help people and you can help yourself and you can be in this space of balance. And when we look there and we turn the what ifs and the scary monster on its head as a byproduct, like just because it just happens that things become easier, life flows more easily. There becomes this soft and gentle feeling within us that allows us to live our lives wholeheartedly, truthfully, honestly, and freely. All this weight that was on our shoulders, all this weight in our mind that we have to do this and that person told us we must do that, and our thinking says, and none of it is true. None of it is true. There's nothing you have to do. There are consequences if you don't do certain things. You know, if you don't drink water, you'll get dehydrated. If you don't go to work, you won't get paid. If you cross the road without looking, you might get run over. There are consequences, but there is nothing you have to or must do. When we look at the world like that, like I have to do this, it's very difficult and it's like trudging through mud. But when we look at it like, oh, I get to drink water. Oh, water's so beautiful. I love it. It's amazing. I get to cross the road safely and look both ways. I get to go to work and earn money so I can pay for this beautiful house. You get to. And you're looking at, when we look through the lens of possibility and miracles, life becomes lighter. And when we're looking through the lens of suffering and difficulty and pain, life becomes an uphill struggle, becomes this trudging through mud. So I think that is a nice and beautiful space to end this conversation. So I really hope there was something helpful in there and there's some insights that you can gain. If you have any questions at all, or if this has brought up anything for you, please feel free to contact me, get in touch. My email address will be below this video. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. Email is the best place to get in touch. If you do send me an email, maybe comment below the video I've sent you an email so I know. Again, if you want it to stay anonymous, that's perfectly fine. I will check my email and get back to you as soon as possible. And again, just to reiterate, if you want to be part of my London WhatsApp group, please email me or comment below this video so I can add you into that. And I think that's it for now. I will see you again in about 2 weeks' time. These conversations happen every 2 weeks. on a Wednesday. So look out for that. And I hope you have a beautiful week wherever you are. Enjoy the sunshine if it's shining for you. And I will see you again in 2 weeks' time. Lots of love. Bye for now.